Okay, I'll ask you two things.
Yes.
One is about this Nnamdi Kanu character, who is, in a sense, trying to start a revolution, but a different sort of revolution with a different sort of aim.
Yes.
And also, I want to ask you what you think the role of education is, especially for building up a different mindset from the grassroots, so that, even if we don't have all the politicians who are, like you said, are mostly corrupt, then what about the ones coming after them, the ones they are grooming to take after them? Then we surely would still have the same problem.
Well, let me respond to the renewed Biafran agitation. And here is something very important to say, that if any group of people feel that injustice is being visited upon them, there is no statute of limitation to fight back, and that's what I think the Igbos of Nigeria feel. I have spoken to a lot of them and thought that, the way the Igbo man feels about Nigeria is the same way the oppressed Yoruba man feels, the same way the oppressed Hausa man feels. I served in the northern part of Nigeria, and I was in Yola, and I saw for the first time a kind of oppression, not only oppression, but a kind of subjugation, feudal subjugation that happened to the Northerners, or that are still happening as we speak, that made me feel even better from where I was coming from. Because I saw people dying of meningitis, in those days, and they are not even allowed to cry. And so the Igbos have a legitimate route in Nigeria. 3 million of them were annihilated, supposedly because Nigeria wants to remain a united nation. But that unity that was promised has not delivered justice to anyone. But the Igbos feel particularly aggrieved because, you see, the killing of their people during the war is fresh in their memories. If you and I lost our sister to kidnapping in war, the scar doesn't go away, And then in their own particular case, there's a symbol or a symbolism of resistance. They have a name to it, they have a insignia to it, they have a flag to it, which is usually what defines what social movements do. I have some issues with their campaign, and mine is that, an oppressed people do not demonize other oppressed people.
Of course.
We're
sort of in the same boat.
In the same boat. If I was them, I would be reaching out to other oppressed people. Because why? Even if the Biafran nation they are talking about today is created, it's not going to close the door to the corrupt Biafrans who mismanaged the Nigeria that led to their own uprising.
Wow.
So they are going to need their neighbors, So, and if Biafra is suddenly the Christmas tree in Nigeria, are the Northerners who are hungry going to be watching you enjoying? Are the Yorubas who are hungry they will overrun the place because you are sharing geographical boundaries with them. Look at, the U.S. is 90 miles from Cuba, Haiti. When people in Haiti are frustrated, they get on rickety boats and they start heading to the U.S.
Regardless of
the Coast Guard, the Marines waiting. Because that is what oppression does to people when it becomes existential. Nobody can stop migration. Talk less of when you are surrounded by,
literally just by a road.
Just by a road, or even by, let's even assume that they're able to construct a fence, a wall around their Biafra nation. People will drill holes through them, they create tunnels on that dam. So the problem that you were running away from, well, you have isolated yourself from when you were starting your own Biafra, will just one day find itself in the midst of your own new nation. This the reason why, if I was waging their own kind of battle, I would be collaborating with other oppressed people.
That's very important. I think that's
not alienating them.
Very important.
Yes.